Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you, and today we've got a bit of an update on the whole remote raid pass situation. A little while ago it was announced and then data mined and then theorized and then spiraled out of control online of, Niantic is changing the remote raid pass system, cost, amount you can do per day, all this sort of stuff. We've finally got confirmed answers on what those changes are going to be. I'm filming this pretty much like 30 minutes after reading this information. So I like to get you guys the news as quickly as possible, but that being said, at the time of me filming a lot of my videos, I don't have a lot of time to sit and marinate and like fully process my feelings and opinions on it just yet. And there's obviously going to be certain things that I don't think of until you guys tell me your perspectives and opinions. So first things first, I'm going to go through all the details, but I would really love your feedback in the comments. I will also be supplying this video to Niantic for them to read the comments. So any feedback that you share in the comments, likely they're going to have eyes on most or all of that, hopefully. But for me, I think it's really, really valuable to get your insight on this. And we'll go into a few reasons why. So let me give you all the information first before you leave a comment, but please, at the end of this, please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions, feedback, any of that sort of jazz. And last thing before we do jump into this as well, I will be away in New Zealand for a holiday for like the next 10 days-ish. So if the videos are a bit quiet and if there's no live streams, that is why. I'll be back in Australia in time for Community Day. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to be playing that, but I likely still will have a video up for you guys for the new event while I'm away. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to jump in and do some reading. Trainers, we want to give you a heads up about changes coming to Pokemon Go's remote raid passes. These changes are designed to rebalance the game and ensure it's enjoyable for trainers for years to come. These changes will go into effect on April 6th, 2023 at 11 AM PDT, so GMT -7. First things first, the pricing adjustments. The price of the Remote Raid Pass 3-pack will increase to 525 Pokecoins. I'm going to give opinions at the end of this. The price of single Remote Raid Passes will increase to 195 Pokecoins. A Premium Battle Pass 3-pack will be added to the shop for the price of 250 Pokecoins. Remote Raid Pass limits. I feel like this is going to be the big one. Trainers will be able to participate in a maximum of 5 remote raids per day. This maximum may change and increase for special events. Remote Raid Passes. Remote Raid Passes will be included in the pool of potential rewards for research breakthroughs. Remote Raid Passes earned via Research Breakthrough will still be subject to the existing inventory limit of 3 Remote Raid Passes per trainer. If a trainer earns a Remote Raid Pass from a Research Breakthrough while at the 3 Remote Raid Pass limit, they will receive a Premium Battle Pass instead. Small text down here. Purchases of Remote Raid Pass 3-packs will still allow you to hold up to 5 Remote Raid Passes if you purchase it with 2 Remote Raid Passes already in your inventory. So if you make purchases, it will stack up to 5, but if you are earning one for your breakthrough, it will not stack up to 5. Lastly, Candy XL trainers who participate in 5-star raids in person will earn more Candy XL than before. I can only assume they mean more than what was already the kind of in-person XL bonus. Otherwise, that's super misleading, but I feel like that's saying like more, I hope. At the bottom here, they've got as well, since their introduction in 2020, Remote Raid Passes have continued to dominate the experience of playing Pokemon Go in a way we never intended. Rewarding trainers with additional Candy XL and adding other new features are 2 of the ways we hope to further incentivize playing Pokemon Go in person with your friends, family, and community. We plan to keep Remote Raid Passes as part of Pokemon Go. However, we believe this change is necessary for the long-term health of the game, and we do not make it lightly. We feel this is a necessary step toward our goal of preserving and improving the unique experience of playing Pokemon Go, a game we hope you continue to enjoy long into the future. So, I'm going to go through and do a bit of an objective breakdown, and then we're going to go into the subjective of my feelings on this. Objectively, so full stop, the price of Remote Raid Passes is increasing. I understand. I honestly, I'm about to go subjective, aren't I? It's such a nuanced thing because Remote Raid Passes fill such a niche for people who need them, communities who need them, rural players who need them, disabled trainers who need them, a whole host of people who utilize this as a tool that you need. You don't have an option, full stop at all, to raid in person. However, for someone who can raid in person easily, freely, they are a very overpowered tool in my opinion. Remote raid passes are crazy strong. You can be doing literally nothing, doing everything. You could be at your desk at work and join a remote raid that's happening somewhere else in the world. I could be 10 p.m. in bed and join a raid. They are incredibly powerful, in my opinion, for what you get and what you need to do to get stuff with a remote raid pass. I think the issue is that they are also a necessary tool for a lot of people and not just an optional, extra, lovely, nice to have tool for the majority of players. So the price of them they're going up. For the people who need it, I don't like that the price is going up. For the people where it's an optional, I don't really know. I think it makes sense that a remote raid pass would cost more than a regular raid pass because you are essentially getting more out of it. You're not having to go to the location to do the thing. So I don't know how you kind of tackle both of those when both the one item suits two separate purposes. Thoughts and feelings, please let me know. The price of the single remote raid pass increasing to almost 200 Pokecoins, so 195. So at the 525, if we divide that by 3, is 175. So the cheapest you're gonna get the remote raid pass for, unless you get one for free in your breakthrough, is 175, up from 100. And it's almost doubling in price if you're buying them separately. Again, if that's the value to you, I don't know. Again, it's still sitting on that issue of people who need them versus people who want them. Also versus how you play the game. Do you play casual or hardcore? These, objectives, goals, your enjoyment in the game are gonna be different for literally everyone. I do, however, like that the premium battle pass 3-pack is gonna be added and it's gonna be 250 coins. So that's gonna actually mean that buying a 3-pack of regular, the green raid passes is 50 coins cheaper. So it's actually going to be cheaper now to raid in person than remotely. So for people who can raid in person, that's clearly financially, in terms of Pokemon coins, the better choice. Whether or not it's a better choice for you, that's again, subjective. I think this pricing shuffle was inevitable. I think from the get-go, I think we know that remote raid passes are an amazing tool. They're awesome, they're busted, they give us some great features. They also give some people just borderline standard access to the game. I think that this pricing change was inevitable ever since, the winding down of certain lockdown features and, or just lockdown in general. Is this price change in line with what you were thinking it would be? I honestly thought it would be a bit less of an increase, but again, the addition of the 3-pass pack does seem to me like a decent incentive for raiding in person if that is an option for you. Remote raid pass limitations. This is the one that I think is going to be especially divisive for a lot of people. So let's just combine subjective and objective. It's not like I can, I think you guys can read the nuance. I want to know your opinion on this limit because I'm not someone who does a crazy amount of raids. I probably don't even do a medium amount of raids. Typically, I will raid until I get the shiny, if I'm even bothered. For the Tapus recently, I haven't done any. I did 2 raids for those each, didn't get the shiny, didn't bother to try hunting them. For the Thunderouses and that, I haven't tried at all. I've honestly been like, oh, does someone want to trade stuff? Here is my raid champion badge, or my 2 badges in the game. Total legendary raids and total raids in general. I don't raid a lot, I don't think. I did the maths on this. This works out to be less than 1 raid per day since the game came out. I mean, raiding hasn't been out since day one. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Doing the maths on this, I know that the raiding hasn't been out since the day the game released, but it's around a raid per day, if that. So for me personally, I'm not someone who raids a crazy amount. For me, this change of 5 per day, it realistically won't affect me. If I'm doing raid hosting, or if it was a particular, Kanto, Johto weekend, we're all trying to get the shiny Corsola, I'm joining so many remote raids. Yes, obviously that's going to be a massive bummer. I was enjoying immensely joining my friends around the world to raid with them, to help. I like joining in raids when, someone from the Patreon squad invites me to a raid and I join in and I see that there's only 4 other people in there and I know that I'm actually contributing to help get the raid boss done because they don't have the numbers. That feels good to help your community, to help your friends, to help rural remote players. And if you are a rural or remote player, you're relying on people joining to help you when you invite and not jumping out last minute and, not losing their passes and all that sort of jazz. And I feel like if the people that are willing to jump in remote raids, if they are limited to 5 per day, does that become, oh sorry, I can't help you get your 1 Pokédex entry. Oh sorry, I don't want to do the raid where it takes twice as long to get it done. I would rather jump in with a party full of 20 in a city and spend my remote pass that way. Are people going to be getting excluded because of this change? Even though you might not need to use, you as an individual might not need to use 5 passes per day, you need someone else to be willing to use one of their passes to join your raid potentially. I see that being a pretty big issue. You know, maybe not big in terms of the number of people, but I think it's big for the people that are affected. It does say here, obviously, the maximum may change for special events. So, you know, potentially those events like, you know, hey, Coursel is available, blah, like, I think this change was going to hurt regardless of when and where and how it changed. Either way, it's still a band-aid getting ripped off a really hairy leg. I just don't know how you, oh God. Let me finish wrapping through these other few points and then we'll kind of, you know. Remote raid passes are in the potential pool for research breakthrough rewards. Awesome, amazing, thank you, cool, gimme. The fact that it doesn't stack if you've got the 3, I think is pretty rough. Obviously, disclaimer, make sure you check your item storage before you claim your research breakthrough. Just because you've completed your research breakthrough doesn't mean you have to claim it immediately. As someone who is historically puts off doing that, you can just not claim your rewards immediately. You can exit out, no thank you, check later, check your bag, all that sort of jazz. But I foresee a lot of people missing out on some remote raid passes by not checking in advance. Do I like that there is a free option? Yes. Do I think that fixes the issue of accessibility in the game? No. I feel like that's kind of like the main major points. The price is changing, the bundle price is changing, in-person raids are getting cheaper in a bundle, and you are capped at 5 remote raids per day. Again, I want to be very, very clear that I want to sit and listen to everyone's feedback on this. Just because I'm not someone who raids day in, day out, I don't want to be like, oh, this is like a fine change. I don't see the problem, as opposed to someone who does 100 raids a day, 10 raids a day, whatever. I don't want to be ignorant to other people's experiences in this game. So I want to listen to what you have to say. Will this change affect me? In the immediate scenario, probably not. Will it affect how I behave in the game long-term though? Probably yes. If I'm limited to 5 per day and I know that I have 10 rural friends, who do I help? Who do I assist with a raid? Do I do that at all? Or do I just turn off my notifications and hope that no one asks me to join a raid so I don't feel like I'm having to, you know, pick favorites or something? Or is that not gonna matter? Are people gonna still get their handful of raids done because the majority don't do more than 5 raids per day on a regular week? I don't know. Will this affect hardcore players? I think yes, obviously, because it's in the name. They play hardcore, they do a lot of raids every single day. And how someone else finds enjoyment in the game, you know, that's up for every individual to decide. The way that I enjoy the game the most is probably not the same as you or your friend, or the way that you prefer to play the game is probably not gonna be the same to the person sitting next to you. That's okay. I also want to, I guess, just flag a potential, you know, going forward, how do we, if this never changes, if this is just, hey, here's what it is, it's limited to 5, tough luck, you know, go live your lives. How do we as a community support those who need remote raid passes and those who need the help of others using their remote raid passes to assist them? Again, say for example, disabled trainer, you cannot go to an in-person raid, so therefore you already need to be remoting to, you know, the gym that you can see on your map. And because of that, you're relying, you know, if your local community isn't able to go there in person to do that raid for you, to support you, you need to invite your number of people to support you. How do we as a community facilitate that? Do we start, you know, Discord channels with, you know, adopt a rural friend? You know, I need support for raids, you know, as a specific, you know, role in a Discord. You know, do you have your exit buddy having, you know, pairing up 5 city people with 1 rural, or 10 hardcore players with 1, you know, casual player, but, you know, with the guarantee that if that person invites you, you all jump in and support. How do we as a community, I guess, address this so that people don't get left behind, essentially? That's the biggest concern for me. I don't want people to lose their access to, you know, catching Pokemon, to their community. I think additionally with this, again, campfire, I wish that that was fully rolled out before they made these changes, because I think Again, honestly, I think the campfire is going to solve a lot of issues for people that, you know, every video I see people commenting, oh, I wish I could do raids. Oh, I wish my community looked like this. Oh, there's no one that plays in my area. No one plays Pokemon Go. No one plays near me. You know, the nearest group is, you know, X distance away. But genuinely, one of the things that I've seen through using Campfire is just the pockets of people that you'd have no idea, you know, live around the corner from you, or there's a community that you have no idea exists because you can't even see Campfire yet. You can't use the app. You can't see if someone's, you know, light a flare nearby or whatever else. So I think a lot of people are being excluded by not even knowing that they can be included because they can't see the people that play nearby to them. And I really wish that Campfire was fully rolled out and people were fully using it before this change, because at least that might take off some of the pressure of, you know, if you're the person who's stuck, not able to do the raid, you could still know that you've got locals that can be on the ground support, invite you to the raid. You can still get it done, as opposed to this uncertainty of like, well, crap, I can't get these things done ever now because who's going to want to join my raid? Maybe I'm being overly dramatic. Maybe it's going to be totally fine. Maybe the people that you already raid with are going to be like, oh yeah, I do like 2, so I'm happy to join. Maybe it'll be totally fine. But I don't want to make assumptions until we kind of know how it is going to be. I know for myself, I genuinely miss the vibe of raiding in person, but I know that that's not feasible for everyone either. You know, there was a buzz of, you know, getting an EX raid invite and everyone like, you know, meeting there on the time and, you know, oh, it's gonna be the first Mewtwo, like everyone's gonna get their first Mewtwo, it's just so exciting. You know, that sort of buzz was incredible, is incredible, but I know that that's not realistic for everyone or an option for everyone. And as I mentioned earlier, I've had this information for like 30 minutes. There's going to be like 100 more unique points of view or things that I haven't considered or haven't even mentioned in the comments of this video. So in advance, thank you for sharing your experience and telling me your points of view or things that I might have missed, like, oh, Zoe, you didn't even consider blah. You know, how are we going to deal with blah? You know, let me know. I'll probably make a follow-up to this as well, going over your, you know, thoughts, feelings, feedback. Is this a big deal for you? Yes or no? How do you think we should combat, you know, no one left behind? How do we deal with that as well? Please leave any thoughts, feelings, opinions, critical, preferably, in the comments down below. I'm genuinely shocked that it's 5. I thought it was gonna be more, honestly. Again, I know that I don't raid a lot, but I still just thought it was going to be more. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. How is this going to change things for you? And again, I will be passing on all of this feedback to Niantic. Whether or not that changes anything, I don't know, but I can at least bombard them with all your comments. So thank you. As always, lovelies, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. I will catch you guys in the next one.